And once you're on that level of conversation, you're already halfway there to then getting dev or any other help you may need to make sure that things can get plugged in and that the data drive those activities.
What would you recommend businesses to start with if they want to get their data fundamentals in order?
So I think for any business, you need to understand your customer journey and what each different piece of MarTech is going to be doing across that journey and what role it's playing. Once you begin to understand it, you understand the touch points and the points of communication, then you can start to understand, well, what data is being generated, what data is being collected there. So really simple example. If we take, top end of the funnel, you're probably going to have some kind of page search tools. You're going to have some kind of amplification tools for display ads and so on and so forth to get your message out there, to get your product out there. It could be for social media, whatever it is. So you can have some tools that are going to help you manage that part of the stack. And those tools are going to be there then to drive your customer to some kind of action. Generally, it's to our website. So, and our websites tend to be the focal point of a lot of activity, whether it's prospect, part of the journey, or whether it's in life cycle. The website is where the customer is going to get information about the project, probably interact with our business or services, and be driven to do a lot of activity. So you want to think, well, how is my website going to be able, because it's that focal point, how is my website going to be able to get all these different signals, these behaviors, all these things, these signals, and then be able to make them available for all the other things I might be plugging into the stack, whether it's a recommendation engine I might have on the website, maybe it's feedback to my top of funnel stuff so that they can provide better remarketing tools or better lookalike audiences. How am I going to send signals and data that's going to be useful to my CRM or my marketing automation tools so that they can start providing experiences according to where the customer is in the journey or what their needs are, if we can recognize those. So it's think of things as a whole and think of it from a data perspective, because once you start talking from a data perspective, the use cases, all the wonderful things that we would like to do for the customer, those great experiences we want to create, those use cases start to come to life. We start talking about what we need to make it happen. And once you're on that level of conversation, you're already halfway there to then getting dev or any other help you may need to make sure that things can get plugged in and that the data drive those activities. So I think there's two bits to this. So once you've done that kind of piece of data architecture, you know what your data sources are, you know where it is coming from, you've done the journey mapping stuff, understood the touch points and the activities. I think the first thing is understanding and making sure you have a really good, strong data layer on your website so that surface and expose these data points. And that's generally one of the first places that you want to start thinking about where these integrations are going to happen. One of the things you don't want to do is start thinking about specific use case integrations, which is what a lot of businesses sometimes tend to do. So we go, oh, we have a use case here. We want, let's say, we know we have in this particular database, we can get a segment of customers that we know will do X, Y, and Z if we present them with the right offer at the right time, but we needed to talk to this other piece of technology. So what we'll tend to do is create a direct integration between the two pieces of technology and only pass the data that's needed between them, and that's it. That's quite a lot of effort, right? Once you start doing that, you've got different parts of the company, you've got DevOps involved, integrations, and you're trying to get all the pieces to work for that one specific use case. And very often, if you look back at what's been driving that particular use case, it's this idea of campaign orchestration, where you want to do things in campaign. Oh, we have such, maybe we want to work in campaign.
Yeah.
So my recommendation, and what I try to help my customers get to, is actually, rather than try and integrate specific pieces of your stack, try and get them to integrate through some kind of message broker system, which is able to bring in all these different signals, and then using some very simple rule-based and some very simple UI, be able to allow the different MarTech teams to take what they need and pass those messages in real time to where you need them. And essentially, this is where items like a good a server-to-server message broker system and a CDP come in really, really useful. So you want to have a system which is able to take in all the signals from your different pieces of your MarTech stack, create, I don't want to say single customer view because I don't like that term and I think it's been misused and misunderstood. But what you want to create is profiles about the users and the activities and the behaviors. And what you want to then glean from those is those flags, which will then go on and cause additional activity elsewhere amongst your stack. And you want to distribute those from there. So generally, it's have a great data layer, have a great tag management system that's been thought in and able to send those signals there, and then have some kind of server-to-server broker that's basically your integration, your integration point, your focal point for that. So rather than get CRM to talk to markups and that stuff, signals are coming in, rules are happening, signals are going out. And you start to move from this idea of campaign orchestration to data orchestration. And that becomes a real enabler, because as you think up the use cases, you can enable the use cases. You don't have to do an integration for each use case. A really simple e-commerce example is I'm a customer. I've seen a display ad for a particular product. I've clicked on your display ad. I've come onto your website. I'm now on your website, and I'm browsing through. I've maybe seen 2 or 3 more products on there, and I've decided I want to buy. So I'm adding to cart, and I'm checking out. And I've successfully checked out, right? Those are all individual signals that are coming through. Great. I then go onto Facebook. What do I see? An advert about the very product that I just bought from the very company that I just bought. Who doesn't hate that? All the time. Exactly. And you're wasting bids. You're wasting a lot of effort, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you had a data orchestration and data strategy behind it, what you have there is the ability to say, okay, the signal this customer has bought, okay, tell Facebook or whatever it is, don't show it out to this person. He's already bought, right? Now, some people might say, well, let's go freaky. Let's make a thank you ad in Facebook. I think that probably goes a step too far, right? You want to keep it. But, get people out of those remarketing pools. They don't need to be there. If they've already purchased. They haven't purchased, if they've lost the basket, then you want to start thinking, actually, if we know that they have abandoned the basket, maybe we want to give them an offer in a week's time to help them to just go and get there, right? So maybe in a week's time, we can give them an offer that says, hey, complete your basket now, get whatever off, or whatever it is that gets them over the line, right?
Yep.
So the ability of having the data to go into one place, and then you can orchestrate to what part of the stack you want to send it, means that the use cases, as they develop, can be actioned because those data integrations are there. You don't have to keep trying to integrate the 2 points together.